Hello everyone, welcome to Tongren Station. It's good to see everyone. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things real quick and we will begin. It seems we have a few people that maybe because of power outages or the storm aren't able to make it today. But we will definitely get everybody in and we will be good to go. So we want to begin with our tapping. And then we will bring in our Tongren friends. And then we will set up our other people. And we will be all set. We also do simultaneously, we do so I'm live on YouTube. Woohoo! Never thought I'd say that. But let's get to StreamYard, Instagram. Yep, I can do this. Blood flow to the brain. And we will do one more piece of maintenance right now. Because we like to do multitasking. So blood flow to the brain. We've got everybody connected. So how's everybody doing out there? You doing okay? Look at all the flooding. And there we go. And check it out. We are now multi-stream. I didn't do that on purpose. So the laser is set on what we call CV4. And CV4 is specifically for charging the battery. And I don't know about you guys, but I can use a good charge. So the live video should be, if you refresh your screen, the video should change, or you can go to Anusar Wellness Facebook page. I am also on Tongren Station Facebook page. So let's work with Esther. Sylvie, good to see you. Del, awesome to see you. Marie, you're the best. Christos, I think I sent I have one message to get to you. In fact, I'll get that tonight. It's about the Twina and the other things. Today's been a crazy day. It actually started at 3 a.m. with a call to friends for a group of people to do a group workshop. And we are international. So we want to work on Esther. Let's give Esther full attention. Command points of the brain stem to balance the central nervous system. And to balance the endocrine system. And that is separate from the endocannabinoid endocrine system, which is accessed through cannabinoids such as cannabis. It's like another subset of the endocrine system. And a lot of people don't realize it. But if you do breath work, you can also access the cannabinoid system. Endocannabinoid system. Command points of the brain stem for Esther. Maybe that's a special effect. Tongren. How's that? Too much fun. Blood flow to the brain. So we want blood flow, nerve flow, and even a third part is craniosacral flow, blood flow, and nerve flow to make sure a blockage is totally opened up. And I know from a bodywork perspective, you also want to open up the muscles to allow or eliminate what we call entrapment of nerves and blood flow, which causes resistance, the same thing as a blockage. So now I have a new name. I'm now known as Joe Laser. How's that sound? So for everyone, T123478. Microbiome, but T7 right side for blood flow to the lower extremities, and then the lumbosacral plexus for the whole bladder area and lumbosacral plexus as well, and pain, T123478. People are asking me if I'm wearing a plaid shirt. No, I am not. That is from a parallel universe. Or for me, last week, I had a white shirt with my logo, and I'm wearing something around my neck. So keep trying. Let me know if you get through to that. T123478. And if I didn't mention, I'll mention it now. It's the company Uqora, UQORA, which is a 3-part process to rebuild, recondition the whole bladder and mucosal area of the bladder area. It's actually very effective. So the microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. But let's focus on the bladder area. pain, Eucora is not a treatment, it is a supplement. It includes cranberry, which has mannose, which is very cleansing for the bladder. It has 2 other products, Target and Promote. But the thing that's really extra special about it is when people have bladder infections or, say, UTIs, you clean that. But in the mucosa, which is kind of like the hiding area for bacteria and stuff, that doesn't really get addressed. So bacteria and things hide in there, and then you have residual infections. So this specific 3-part process works in that extra area of the mucosa and clears old or stealth-like bacteria very effectively. The 3-part process, very inexpensive, very effective. It's what they do. It's their main focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Then S1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the entire bladder area. Ureter, urethra, down to the bladder 54, which is also to support the bladder. So if you can hear me currently, today is Thursday, October 28th, around 6:13. But see me in the past with a plaid shirt as opposed to currently I'm wearing a white shirt. Yep, let me know. Vagus nerve and phrenic nerve down the torso. But let's focus on the energy dantian area or chakra area for the lower dantian. Bladder 54, behind the legs, stomach 36, spleen 6, liver 3, and kidney 1. So I need to move this. There we go. So what's going on in Instagram land? Nobody's around? What's going on? Could be power outages, could be pandemics, all kinds of stuff. So next we will work with Sylvie and Marie. And everyone with an IE at the end of the name will be next. Blood flow to the brain. So I just want to mention what we're saying for Sylvie Forrest. Aloe vera working, it seems my neuropathy diminishes weekly. And there's a good possibility of why that's happening. The aloe vera, specifically the one that the medical grade aloe vera that I recommend, works with macrophages. Macrophages are kind of like the gobbling part of your immune system that go around and cleaning up old stuff. So when we sleep, we're cleaning up old stuff. That reduces inflammation, and it allows the body for the regeneration, for rebuilding of new stuff. So in addition for the neuropathy, vitamin B12, good hydration, eliminate things like I rule out things like Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, inflammation, any infections, and then focus on all those things. So very nice to hear that. Aloe vera working, it seems your neuropathy is diminishing weekly. Great news, and that's what it does. It's not a drug. It works in harmony with the body. It is 5 times as much is hydrating as regular water because of the nature of the way it works. It's raw, organic, and whole food. It's great stuff. Did you get the one with the herbs or without the herbs, Sylvie? I'd like to know about that. Dell London, yes. What can we do for you, Dell? Both, okay. Both types. There's a herbal type of Alloforce and a non-herbal. And I'm curious why you picked both and not just one. Both are great. Both are excellent for your situation. Both are actually fine. And we do, Houston, we are now connected. Houston, we have contact. And I just here messing with the laser here. But you can't see it. That's not going to work. So let's choose the point the universe has decided. So platelets, blood, bone marrow, leukemia, ITP, all those things. Let's focus on that now. And Henry, you're in. You can see today's video. Yes. Everyone, we have Henry here. Life is good. Blood flow to the nerve flow and T1 for the bones and platelets. And Valerie is here. Woohoo. It's always like a family reunion. T1 for the platelets. T7 for the spleen. So when is Halloween? I lose track of holidays. So you got both, Sylvie. The one with the herbs is better. In your situation, it may not make a lot of difference, but the one with the herbs is more detoxing and more anti-inflammatory. But I would try both. If you've been improving steadily, you know what they say, if it works, don't break it, right? If it works, don't fix it. And we will get to calmness. So first we do anti-inflammation. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. You're very welcome, Sylvie. Anything I can do to help? Yep, had to refresh a few times, so I'm not wearing my plaid shirt anymore. So continue with the bones for Marie. T1 for the bones. GB39 for the bones. The bones is the manufacturing center for the bone marrow production of cells. And the craniosacral flow for the bones and the bone marrow. Sphenoid bone to T1 to coccygeal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Henry, can you see the video on my website as well as Facebook? It doesn't matter, stay where you are. Just kind of double checking. So for Marie, down to the feet, grounding, liver 3, and kidney 1. Vagus nerve, phrenic nerve, oxygen. Everything is about oxygen. We can live without food for days, water for days. Oxygen, we can't live without oxygen for even several minutes. So that's our focus. Oxygen, phrenic nerve to CV17, the diaphragm, oxygen capacity, lung 1, lung 2 for Marie, increased oxygen, and then down to the feet, stomach 36, liver 3, and kidney 1. Okay. So next we have great, we got a lot of people today. Slow start. Not sure. Could be the weather. Okay, so next. Oh, we forgot the calmness. Calming for everyone. Ready? A 2-part process. CB13 for the frontal lobe, right side, and in tongue, third eye, for connection to your true self and your spiritual center, also for calmness. So let's make it a 3-part process. GV20, the pituitary, the crown chakra. So that's the connection for us to the universe. GB13, our connection to our conscious mind. And in tongue, connection to our soul and our true self. And this will help us to get calm. So a 3-part process for calming. So next we're going to work for Les and Henry. A lot of focus on the prostate. So prostate, lymph, and bones for both of you. And the bladder. So let's do it. Blood flow to gentle earthling and Henry. And then next we will work on Valerie. command points of the brain. So everybody who's going to get a brain tune-up. And I also want to mention what you have here, Marie, about someone with inoperable brain tumor. There's a woman named Huish, Huish, who also had a brain tumor. And she did inhalations of things like frankincense and essential oils. Frankincense is anti-cancer. It's used especially for skin, but also internally for cancer. But if you inhale it in a healthy way, you know, like a vapor, through the sinuses, it will cross the blood-brain barrier, and it will be anti-cancer. And there's a woman who actually did it, and I'm sure a lot of people have done it, but she's become famous. Her name is Huish. I put it in the chat for you. And is that a Janet that I know? Command points of the brain. Prostate is a gland, so we work on the hypothalamus and the pituitary, the starting points for Henry and for Les, for the entire endocrine system. Work on the command points of the brain stem. Okay, I don't know where. So are people liking the two screen technology, or I think it looks good because in your subconscious mind, the red is actually red light, which connects to healing light and is focused on the Dantian areas. And let's focus a little bit on the Dantian, a little more on the Dantian areas. And there we go. Right on the lower Dantian. Just like we learned in martial arts, as we're doing the Tongren tapping, we're also charging the battery with the laser. So for Les and Henry, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And we'll work on blood flow to the brain for Janet, I'm sorry. And we'll do her a little bit now and then in a few moments. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for Henry and Les, especially T1 for the bones, T2 for the thymus, T3 for the lymph. Lymph is the body's plumbing, irrigation, garbage collection. So a question, Allison, are you taking any medications? And do you have any, you don't have to put it here if you don't want, but do you have a formal diagnosis of the cause of these different things? Anything related to infections, viral infections, exposures to chemicals? So blood flow, T7 right side, blood and nerves, L3 for the prostate. So for anyone, including Allison, have them rule out Epstein-Barr virus and Lyme. If they can rule those out, then of course we're back to where we are now. But I would think they should check out 3 things: Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, and parasites. Those 3 things. They should give you every single test possible as well. You want to go further? Heavy metal testing. All of those. They have to give you, there's no such thing as idiopathic. Things aren't born spontaneously. They happen for a reason, and you have a strong reaction of inflammation, histamine, and something is causing that. Something is causing that. And it might even be if you have an extreme B12 deficiency. So check that as well. So those are 5 things that I would really focus on. So the prostate L3 and the bladder S1 to 5 for Henry and Les. Idiopathic means I don't know. Doesn't mean there's no cause. It just means they don't know. So you need to do more to help them to figure it out by ruling out. Just say, I want to rule out all these things since they can't figure it out. You rule out Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme, all the things that I said. And Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, check out heavy chemicals, parasites, all those things. MRSA, some kind of exposure to toxins, mold, heavy metals, asbestos, all those things. They need to rule those out. That's their job. So again, L3 for the prostate for Henry and Les, S1 to 5 for Henry and Les, and then grounding to bladder 54. T3 again for the lymph, and let's do a lymph tune-up. Axillary lymph, inguinal lymph, so that means the armpits and the groin, and then up the lymphatic duct basically to collect and deliver garbage. Release it to the blood and let the kidneys and the liver do their thing. And then grounding to the liver 3 and kidney 1. So also for the brain cancer, the aloe vera that we're talking about with the herbs, those are Essiac herbs, anti-cancer herbs. I would highly recommend a very aggressive drinking, even 4 ounces 3 times a day, which I have. Some people do. And then as much as you can, as quickly as you can, to work with the brain tumor. So next we will tap for Great Human, and let me make sure I have so it looks like we're getting people from Tongren Station and different people. And Christos, I owe you a reply. I actually have worked it out, all the details, and I just haven't sent it. I got a couple more questions for you. And we'll just put everything together for the shipping and the course together, make it work out. Okay, so we will tap for the eyes and ears and dizziness. Eyes, ears, and dizziness. Potential earthling, great human. So let's work on the eyes and the ears. Blood flow to the brain. But let's think of the blood flow to the ears and the eyes from the sky window. Let's work right on the ouch point of the eyes right now, and the ouch point of the ears right now. And we have more comments. The drink for the brain tumor is herbal aloe force, aloe vera drink, but this is a medical grade aloe vera. It is organic, raw, whole leaf, unpasteurized, medicinal grade, and it has been worked to make sure it eliminates the side effects of diarrhea. So it is the best, created by a PhD, best one. It's even been tested and shown to be effective against things like HIV. That's how good it is in real testing. Yes, it's the one you have, Sylvie, and also we're recommending it for the brain cancer person. The one with the herbs is specifically for cancer. That would be herbal aloe force. It's in the green bottle as opposed to the purple bottle. And that would be my recommendation as well. So the inhalation of frankincense, the ingestion, I'm trying to make things rhyme, the ingestion of the herbal aloe force, and then the Tongren oxygen therapies. There are different things you can do for oxygen therapies as well. So again, for the eyes, facial arteries, carotid arteries, vestibulocochlear nerves, and optic nerves, GB789. Blood flow, nerve flow. So, confident being, I think I got that. Let me make sure. Gentle earthling and confident being. Nope, those are two different ones. So for the eyes, ears, so now the other nerves, the spinal nerves, C3 and C4, but primarily C3. So Sylvia, you had a brain tumor and craniotomy. Okay. I'm glad that you're doing okay. So I would definitely keep up the herbal aloe force green bottle with the SCIAC anti-cancer herbs as a recommendation. So anti-inflammation for the eyes, ears, nose and throat, eyes and ears. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. But the vertigo, GV17, governing vessel 17, the medulla, and BL9 for motion related to vertigo and dizziness. And the inner ear, which controls our little balance mechanism in the ear, the crystals in the ears. So let's do some more on the ouch point for that. vertebral artery to the spinal artery. Microbiome, but for the ears, kidneys. For the eyes, the liver. And we will work with Valerie next. And confident being. So how's that working, the magnesium oil? Working great. Okay, got it. Yep, magnesium oil. Brilliant stuff. I learned about that from a doctor. Circus. And grounding, bladder 54, liver 3, and kidney 1. So for the eyes and the ears, let's do some more ouch point stuff. First the eyes, then the ears, then the blood flow, facial artery, facial nerve, carotid artery, vertebral artery, for all of those areas, including for Catherine. And grounding to the earth, liver 3, and kidney 1. So how's everybody doing? You still with me? Let me play a little bit. Tongren. How's that? Did that get anybody's attention? Okay, next. We're going to work with prostate, lymph, and bone, kidney yang deficiency. But next is Valerie. Valerie from the other side of the U.S. I'm on the east, she's in the west. Blood flow, and we have Phoenix. This is Joe Laser. Tapping for your eyes too, we'll do that. Blood flow to the brain. So your eyes should already start to feel good. We've been doing a lot with the eyes, but we're going to do it again for you. So for Valerie, digestion, absorption, elimination. Command points of the brain, initialization of the central nervous system and the endocrine system. So magnificent subtle, are you saying you can't hear me or you can't hear other areas? Everybody's hearing me okay? Is that true? Command points of the brain stem. Volume speaker keeps dropping back to off. Yep, sounds like Joe Laser will be the name for my alter ego. And people are asking about the frankincense, so let's talk about that. That's really important. But we want to work on prostate, lymph, and bone, kidney yang deficiency, and eyes. Ouch point for the eyes. C3 for the eyes. Facial nerve for the eyes. Optic nerve for the eyes. We want to cover everything. Oh, so Mama V Rob is not Valerie and Rob from California. Oh, okay, different. My apologies. Rhode Island, our neighbor. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So good to see you, Valerie. Valerie from Rhode Island. Kidney yang deficiency. So we want to tonify the kidneys. So T7 right side. L2 for the kidneys. T1 for the bones. T3 for the lymph. L3 for the prostate. Yep, glad the magnesium oil tip is working. So you have adrenal deficiency. Don't tell me you have stress in your life. Hard to imagine. So the bone, T1 for the bones. Coccygeal bones. Tailbone, coccygeal tailbone. For the bone marrow of the bones, and GB39 for the bones. So your question is, how do you use frankincense for the brain? You can use a diffuser, but a better way to do it is to make a steam tent with a big bowl of fairly hot water. It's going to create a steam. You put in a bunch of frankincense, put a towel over your head, and inhale it into the sinuses. Don't make it too hot. It'll burn your sinuses, but just inhale the frankincense and it will cross into the brain. Frankincense is anti-cancer. So if I've learned anything through my upbringing, frankincense and myrrh, from a couple of very famous people, the Magi from the West, who came to give it as a gift. Good reason why. It's a beneficial set of herbs for humanity. It really is amazing. Okay, grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. But let's focus on the digestion specifically. T1, 2, 3, 4, T7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the microbiome. So aloe vera is good for the digestion as well. And there's only one type that I recommend. So L4, L5, T11, T12 for the microbiome in the gut to improve digestion that includes the large intestine. And the other part of that would be the vagus nerve down the torso, but the vagus nerve to the lower dantian, gut-brain axis. CV4, exactly where we have the laser, as you can see the laser. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, so everybody doing good? Let me just go to the end because it's a big candida in the brain and spinal fluid. That's a good question. Hello, Drew. Can frankincense help with the clogged ears? I would definitely try it, but there are some other herbs that are better, maybe better specifically for the ears. But your idea, coconut oil and frankincense under the ear is an excellent idea. Especially put it around GB12 for the vagus nerve area. That would be great. I think that's a good idea, a really good idea, a good area. The other thing is wheatgrass balm. That's another option. So if there are sinus issues, I would recommend instead lavender or oregano for cleansing and detoxing, just as we use it for COVID. Those are better. Frankincense will work. It's all going to work. But the oregano and lavender, oregano especially, seems more suited for anything that might be an infection like sinus. But they all work. So I want to make sure. And Leonard is here. So let's work on the Candida overgrowth. We work for the eyes, and then we'll work with Leonard. So Candida. So a really great product for balancing out Candida is Dr. Ohira 3 and 5 year grown fermented sea vegetable product that is really probably the best probiotic kind of idea that I've seen. I've been won over by it. So blood flow to the brain. Command points of the brain and brain stem. Leslie. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. So Candida overgrowth means there's too many of the bad guys, not enough of the good guys. That's the bottom line. So you got to continue to make lots of good guys through fermented foods, probiotics, hydration, alkaline foods. That would be the 4 things that I would recommend right away. And anti-inflammation with Tongren T123478. And hello, Leslie, magnificent settler. And we have Leonard with ALS. So with anything like ALS, MS, rule out Epstein-Barr virus. If you have Epstein-Barr virus, cleanse, clay, tinctures, Epstein-Barr virus, homeopathic tinctures. T123478. And the microbiome for the Candida. Can there be Candida in the brain? I suppose it could be anywhere, but it would be difficult to imagine that it would cross the blood-brain barrier. It's a yeast kind of thing. More likely, it's a viral infection crossing the blood-brain barrier, or just hyperinflammation everywhere. So the right arm and hand atrophy weakness, is that for you, Leonard? So ALS, T123478 for Anna. Microbiome, T11, T12 for anti-infection. 70% of our immune system is in the gut. So right arm and hand atrophy, brachial plexus. Always check your B12 with anything that's dealing with atrophy or nerves. Hello, Les's wife. Detox. Yes, gentle earthling, crystals in the ears get loose, and that is what causes my dizzy spells. That is correct, and it could be part of hydration to get them to go correctly. So we'll continue to work on the atrophy for Leonard and the ALS for Anna, lumbobrachial plexus. And the question is, can frankincense help with the sinuses? Absolutely. But I would recommend frankincense, but oregano, or alternate. Alternating is always the best. And detoxing, healing of broken right foot and severe lower back spasms. I would definitely use a clay poultice for the broken right foot. One, two, three, four, seven, 8. For detoxing, clay is the best. Severe lower back problems, magnesium oil on the lower back, magnesium creams, but the oil would probably be the first recommendation I would have, so it gets deep into the tissues and relieves those spasms, which are oftentimes a magnesium deficiency. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the atrophy, L4, L5, T11, T12 for ALS, and for the atrophy. Good to see you, Leonard. And Leslie W. Everything's working. AV is working great. Esther. And let's give a shout out for everyone here. And also give a shout out for Charlotte, 14-year-old leukemia patient. Did get to leave the hospital and go home. Give a shout out to JH, who will be tapping for him for the colon. And let's work on the ears and the crystals in the ears. And the balance and dizziness. Of course, the crystals in the ear, that's our own gyroscope. But also there is a part of the brain that manages balance, which is BL9, G17, BL9. One thing that may help the ears is infrared light therapy to manage the fourth phase of water aspect of the water and bioelectrical components of the ears. So I've never heard of candida in the spinal fluid and the brain. So the focus is, if there's candida in the spinal fluid and the brain, in particular the spinal fluid, that means the spinal fluid is deficient. So two things. One is to increase the craniosacral fluid of the spine. Number two, make sure the tailbone is correct, because the tailbone is also an area that can help for the cycle and the circuit of the craniosacral fluid to make sure that that is actually going properly. So we'll do one more round. We're going to work with Drew. Can frankincense help with clogged ears? There are some good homeopathics that you can use for eardrops overnight, or leave it in 30 minutes and spray some water in there very gently. Don't ever put anything in your ears. But there are homeopathic remedies for cleaning the ears. But like I say, mixing it with coconut and rubbing it under the ears sounds like an excellent option. So we're going to work with Drew and bone density. And I've heard that lauricidin is very good for candida. What is MCS, multiple chemical sensitivities? Blood flow to the brain. So for the cause of different things for Kimby's broken foot, I would do a foot poultice overnight to heal it more quickly. I would also put wheatgrass balm once a week to heal the nerves. So those two things to get you balanced out, because everything is getting misaligned because of the foot. So you're exactly right. Chronic fatigue. So T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And the microbiome, those two things. T11, T12, L4, and L5. And for Kimby's 92. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for anti-inflammation. Lower back pain. T7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get your hips aligned. Go to a chiropractor on a regular basis since you have an imbalance created by your broken foot. Bone density for Drew, T1, and GB39 for Drew. So Leslie, what in particular can I repeat for you? Happy to do that. T1 additionally for Happy Mama. Yes, Leslie, let me know exactly what I can do about the cerebral and spinal fluid. Okay, thank you for reminding me. So let's continue with our last move for the spine. You want to focus on cranial sacral fluid. So there are cranial sacral therapy treatments which will enhance the cranial sacral therapy, cranial sacral fluid quality. That's number one. And tailbone. So we'll work on the tailbone, CG 1 to 5, because that's the end point of the cranial sacral flow, and that flow increasing with the rhythm that it requires will also increase the immune system of your spine, and your spine is connected to your brain. So I'm not sure what they mean by candida to the brain and the spinal fluid. I've never heard that before, but it's a type of infection, so it should be addressed for sure. So coccygeal tailbone 1 to 5. So for the arms, brachial plexus for everyone, and for the legs and the feet and the broken feet, lumbosacral plexus. Bone density for Drew, C6, C7, T1. Calcium balancing. calcium balancing, C6, C7, T1. And GB39, welcome to Open Channels Energy. And I apologize for going over a few minutes, but we'll be okay. And we will do a charging for everyone. Last time, vagus nerve and phrenic nerve down the torso to CV17. These are just the anatomy pathways. Grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's finish our 6 to 7 plus-ish meeting with the charging of the CV4. So everybody take a deep breath. If you want to activate the parasympathetic relaxation response, breathe through the nose with me, and I'm going to count. Breathe in, count to 4. Breathe out through the nose, count to 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we are good to go. You are all set. And we will do a coherent energy entrainment kind of thing. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. And let's do one more thing. So thank you for joining us for our Tongren. I won't do that too much anymore. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Talk to you all soon. And see you next week in the Collective Unconscious.